Hi, welcome to this brief introduction. Just in case you're listening to this episode, there's a video format of this particular episode on my YouTube channel. And for those who are watching on the YouTube channel, be sure to check out the audio format on my SoundCloud and iTunes, as you'll understand why that there's a video format. Thank you. Hello Squids and Kids, and welcome to another episode of the SplashDown Under Podcast. Today we're going to be doing things a little differently. That's right, we're going to be talking about the new update, the Salt Spray Rig 2 map, as well as the Tony Kenza weapons. Hello guys, it's Wacko Jacko here, and today we have the three guests, what did I learn to count? We have from formerly of Double D and Rain and Suffering, we have Hess. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you.
That's good. And everyone knows Pallet. Hello, Pallet. How are you?
Sup? I'm all good.
That's good. And you're probably wondering who the WAN is. That's Goy from Diamentia. How you going, Goy?
It's Diamantia, and I'm ruined to get into
Diamantia. Okay. I always looked at their name, and I never really knew how to pronounce it. But anyway. Alright, so I've selected you three guys because I wanted to discuss the new map and the new weapons that we have recently received in Splatoon 2's update. So without further ado, we get straight into this PB, and we'll go through and discuss some of the weapons that we've got, and particularly what we can find that will be useful for these certain modes on this map. So choose a way. Now, I think you're going to be using that stupid machine palette, if I'm not correct.
Jeez, I don't know, maybe a micro charger?
Look,
that would be nice. That would be nice.
I'm glad the team's right out this way, because I don't want to deal with slashing machines as a dually, preferably for the next 2 years.
I'm happy to have you on my team. As long as I can kill Wacko.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is going to get personal real quick. That's okay. Alright, so we've got Pallet with the sloshing machine, and we have Goy with the Julies, and Hess using that new roller with bubbles. Now, the bubbles and the Julies have been out for a while, as we know, as the recent 4 ones have been included. So there hasn't been much time really for most of people to get to know this and get comfortable with these weapons, but I'm sure each of these weapons can be used to their advantage in each map and mode. So yeah, let's have some fun, guys.
Sure will.
Thanks. Can't wait to kick your butt.
Oh, come on now. I'll be like getting all the hard shots, but missing all these tap shots.
Now, I'm glad we're using Kensa weapons, because it means there's no curling bomb messes. Because I don't want to deal with curling bombs on this.
Oh my god, look at us with the black and white theme.
I know.
Oh yeah, this is like, I made this set purposely built for it.
Same, I did it with my Sloshmo.
Okay, so I'm going to just jump out and make a start about how I don't like being a charger on this map, because being a charger, it's the unfair advantage of having the right peak, if that makes sense.
Well, there is a lot of clams down the middle.
Oh yeah, it's basically where the clam spawns are.
Yeah.
I'll come
So like,
with it.
it's weird, because like the Rainmaker objective and the tower control, everything starts the same spot.
Very nice.
Oh, you died.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Hi,
I
Wacko.
did die.
Sorry. Oh, there's a ball! I didn't throw the ball up.
I'm not sure how that damaged me, I was on the ramp.
Oh no, he spawned right as I was picking it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll throw some clams up here.
Oh yeah,
So-
I got 2, thanks.
Similar to Salt Spray Rig from Splatoon 1, we have a whole big useless area. People call it the Shrine, I think, in this call out.
I would say
yeah.
in some maps it's not crazy useless.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, it's not. Yeah.
Oh
But,
wait,
like,
are you talking about
if-
the shrine area?
Yeah, the Shrine area, correct.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be decent for stingrays, but, you know, I don't play stingrays, so I personally have not really stepped foot in here too much.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of as being an advantage. Go away, Goy! Ah! Okay,
It's
there we
alright,
go.
she's still got the jump in.
Where are you? No!
Hi.
Panic! Oh no!
Was that you?
Doesn't look like we'll be
That was
getting
me. I had baller and oh gosh. All right, let us get a push. We need to get a push first.
Is there any clams at the shrine actually? I don't know.
No, I
There's,
don't think there is.
Hmm?
I don't think there is.
clams
No,
at the
it's just at the
shrine.
entrance.
Yeah, just at the entrance.
I
see.
think there is some that can potentially show up later on.
Okay. I'm gonna YOLO it. Okay, I'm not gonna YOLO it. That's a bad
Rip.
idea.
Well, this is not a good situation.
Yep, it sure was.
So
had the
let's
idea.
talk about the kits that you guys are each individually using. We'll start with you, Goy. What do you like about those jewelies in particular?
Well, for starters, they're jewelies, and then you have a bowler.
Yes.
And sorry about that, but I'm sure you can understand why bowler is nice.
Don't run me over, please. Yeah, and like that can be used for multiple modes as well. And it's seen as a very aggressive kit as well, I think. Palette, we know you love your sloshing machine. What in particular do you like about this one, though?
So it's a lot different to the ones that have the kits that we've had in the past. That it's a bit more of an aggressive one.
Yep.
Because the previous ones have been Stingray and Bomb Rush as the specials. Well, you got the Splashdown and this kick-ass new Soda Bomb that can kind of.
Oh yes.
It's a bit more of an offensive option, pretty much.
We haven't actually talked about the soda bombs. Quite the unusual special, maybe, perhaps, but like in the ways of design, it kind of fits the game.
I think it's one of the strongest subs now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very popular in Japan.
Is it really? Okay.
Oh, my Japanese friends are a huge fan of it. Ouch.
Yeah, okay. And the fact that it only came with, I think it's only on 2 weapons, if I'm not mistaken. It's on the Luna as well. Is on something else? Or is it? Oh, it's on the sloshing machine. Of course it is. Yes.
Wait, what are you talking about? The BR bomb or the fizzy?
The fizzy.
Yeah, it's only on. It's only.
Oh, had the bubbles not popped? No.
Oh, it was like.
I'm running special power.
It should be underneath it.
Yeah.
Fizzy's on Luna and Machine. BR bomb is on Pro and Dynamo.
Yeah, that whole new special.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the mirror image. Well, not the mirror, but it's like the replica of like what we had.
Nice
Splatoon
shot.
1.
I was
you,
focused
sir.
on you and I kind of forgot there's a charge in the bench.
Oh, laser. Yeah. So like particularly
yeah.
the charger I like about it is it's seen as very, very aggressive. The amount of times I've seen it in clams, it kind of makes me like think, well, the Squiffer is basically redundant because that's got baller as well. I'm too slow there. But yeah, like heaps of people use it in zones. Like if you're playing Splat Zone solo queue, expect to see maybe 2 Kenza weapons at least. One being the jewelers and maybe the other one being a charger. So yeah, it's such an aggressive type. No,
Oh
go with
shit,
that
I
ball.
thought, I mean, I didn't say that word.
That's okay. There's a bleeper. Oh wow! I don't know how I got the shot.
No.
We're greedy.
Sorry, I had to do it, Tom.
Um,
I had to do it.
I find that like one thing I didn't know until I played the Slosh mode a lot more is you can almost use it as like a 4-man
Well, they got knocked out.
curling bomb. Like you can actually, if you throw the fizzy bomb, it kind of does a very small thin line.
It does. Very much like the Cunning Bomb, correct.
Yeah, so you can kind of use it as like a hate your direction kind of thing.
Yeah.
As I'm
Yeah,
right now.
and the thing I would like to know is if there are going to be new weapons coming into the game, and like, I think we're still missing a few kits, like for the Nautilus it still needs an alternative kit.
I
Depending
mean,
if
all the
will
new
ever
weapons
get one.
haven't got new kits yet. So you've got the Bull,
Correct.
the Explosion, the Nautilus,
Yep.
and I think there's another one, but I'm blanking on it right now.
Yeah, okay. So like, there's heaps of potential, and as well, there's that special we saw in the trailer, the giant wielding hammer thingy majiggy.
So is there-
I believe the current term is the bike pump. It's something. But
Yeah,
probably
it's
a hammer.
So there is actually a confirmed like another special that I haven't released.
I believe so, unless it's from a mode, then I don't honestly know.
If you're talking about any stuff that is in the game files and whatever, it's never going to be confirmed constantly. Being
Yeah, okay.
added
Yeah,
or removed,
true.
so you can't really. I mean, you can talk about it, but you can't really act like it's going to be confirmed.
Yeah, exactly.
You're picking.
All right, well, I'm gonna try the
Good
new
luck with it.
Splattershot. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna try the new Splattershot Pro here. It's obviously one of the new weapons. It's got the Booyah Bomb, which is pretty much like the Tenta missile. Well, Inkstrike, I should say. Inkstrike from Splatoon 1. It's a pretty good special, like for splat zones for certain maps. It absolutely covers the zone, no issues whatsoever. Especially for maps like Port Mackerel, you can like safely shoot it and not die like easily compared to like a Splashdown. So, yeah, definitely gonna be an interesting pick for certain maps and modes.
Yeah, I would say its best strength though is probably on TC and zones because Rainmaker isn't
Yes.
terrible for it, but you really need to catch them out on chokes. So if you're throwing it at the uninkable area, for instance, I think you will be able to get some good use out of the VR bomb on this map in
Yep.
particular. But that's about
Yep.
the only area I can immediately see as useful for it.
Yeah, sure. I'll show you the little shortcut that I found when we did some team practice a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's I think the score jumps maybe like a 30 or 40. Actually, maybe not 40. I think it's about 20 or 30.
If it's the uninkable, if it's the one that's in mid
Yeah.
and you have to drop down onto it, then that's time.
Is it? Okay. So yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, and I think if you're gonna do that, use some run speed and maybe a bit of swim as well.
It's not enough of an uninkable area that I feel the run speed is a requirement, personally.
Correct.
But
yeah.
you know, if you want to be safe,
Yeah.
and if you want to be safe, I do
Oh, fizzy
suggest
bomb.
you look behind you.
Thank you, sir. My map awareness was so low.
Oh, nice.
Oh, unlucky. Yeah. Because another thing too about this map is so big. Like, if you compare it to other maps that we've got already, it's probably up there with Snapper. Like, Snapper's a big map as well.
Definitely. And I think an important thing to mention on that as well is the objective is usually like right at the bottom of the map, like as in right on the opposite side. So it does make
Yeah.
traveling to the objective quite a task in most situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially after you get wiped too. It makes your team. It takes a while to like get back in.
Yeah.
I would say the one issue about this map, which considering your position you might have found out shortly, is just how poorly it scores if you take anything other than the uninkable area. Because your
Yeah.
score just lies stagnant for ages.
Exactly. Oh, we see
Like,
the new
the-
Luna. Yeah, keep going, man. I'm just
Oh no,
pointing at the
no,
Luna.
sorry. Wow.
Oh, a double!
Yeah, I ran
Sorry.
into the bomb. I was saying, I feel like for the same amount of effort it takes to be able to push up the uninkable, the path that's straight down the bottom there doesn't give nearly as much points.
Correct.
Because it takes a fair amount of effort just to be able to get in this area, and it doesn't reward you whatsoever for it.
Yeah. So as we know with the Booyah bomb, it's kind of like, lend me your Booyahs and you power up your special a lot quicker. Oh, we see a baller. Hi.
Yep, got baited.
Okay, we're going for the runny. Oh, hi, pallet. You stuck? Oh.
Yeah, this
Hang
is
on,
probably
where
one of
do
the
I
weak
go? Oh,
ones
that
for
way?
2v2. This is
you
basically
got-
how I was
there's-
expecting clams to work, I'm not lying.
Yeah. There's actually a few shortcuts you can take on that particular.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I forget this is a side bit.
We'll just reset it.
Yeah, that little
Um,
side bit on that
Oh.
wall there. That's an easier way to get up as well. But like, you can take the safer route where you go up behind the ramp.
There was like an inkable block too, which I'm wondering if that's a possible way of getting up there too.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you find it is. Ooh,
I'm actually
okay.
going there now just to have a look. Oh yeah, you can jump across with the Rainmaker that way.
You'll-
So while that's happening, I'm actually in the wrong spot.
They won't dunk it. No way. Okay, maybe they will.
Hello.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm not lying,
I was
kinda let us win that one.
exploring there.
Yeah.
That's fair. The other mode, obviously tower control. I think for those who haven't really tried it out yet, it favors heavily towards like brushes, rollers, and blasters. Just particularly like when a team's making a push with a tower, it's sort of like a going uphill fight. Like you basically, it's when you're on the tower and you're near a ledge, it's pretty much a level playing field. Like when you're facing in the tower. Like, it's very hard to defend, if that sort of makes sense. But, like, you can have someone down the bottom where the tower begins using the Stingray to sort of, like, support in a way. But, like...
I do think that it's possible to, I mean, in the PBs that I was playing yesterday, at least, it was definitely possible to stop the TC path.
Yeah.
But, obviously, I think if you're playing in a more aggressive environment, I can see it being a much harder issue. Like, I remember when the map came out and I was looking at the tower path and all that, and the Rainmaker path, I was thinking, like, if they didn't nerf the end parries, they would be just a nightmare on this. Because,
Oh, yeah.
if they still had, like a 190, I think it was, special, pushing up here, it would have been, like, there's so much... It's just like, it is height, but it's on tiers of flat ground, and then a jump, and then tier of flat ground. So, it would be just, oh, man. Let's just be glad we aren't dealing with inkjets as much.
Yeah, I mean, for me, being a Charger user, I just love having the opportunity of sniping down an inkjet. But like the Emperors being as strong as they are, and in the meta, obviously, there's never a game where there isn't a Emperor in the game. So, yeah, I think inkjet's one of the strongest specials really out there. I mean, they've been nerfed a few times here and there, but like I don't think it stopped people using them. So, yeah.
It's not really the. I don't think the inkjet itself has really been directed in a while. It's more the weapons around it have been balanced. That it isn't completely bonkers. Like you think about what's happened to the Imperius now. The Imperius hat went from a 4% dodge roll tax on their tank per roll to a 9%. For reference, that's how much a Glugaloo is on a dodge roll.
Oh wow.
I like how you got all these stats, and I'm just like,
Yeah, me too, pal.
It's like you need to know that. For instance, so from memory, you've got, I believe the Tetris have a 5 or a 6% dodge roll tax, while the Dapples and the regular duels for the longest while had 4%. Now it's a 9%.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring that all up is because it kind of changes what It kind of it was a huge change because I know before the patch I didn't have any real issues when it came to ink consumption, but afterwards, like after that 9% dodge roll tax, you can't just like spam dodge rolls anymore because if you're doing that, you're gonna run out of ink. Oh man, it's past 1,000 minutes ago. But that's
we see 2 Booyah Bombs, one from each side. Now, a stat I will bring up is that I do know the health that you do have with the Booyah Bomb, and I think it's an 500 HP with the Booyah Bomb, which is rather significant.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly acceptable because you have to think about like they're always going to be in a position where it's not an inked nice one.
Oh, whoops.
It's not really. I didn't play Splatoon 1, so I can't really give it a frame of reference. But
All right. Okay.
But
damn.
if
Well,
you if you don't have that kind of armor, you're just going to get shot out of the sky because even right now, most weapons can shoot a Booyah Bomb down only just as it gets to launch the special itself. So if it had any
correct.
less
Yeah.
armor,
Exactly.
it would be way too risky to use under most circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen like my teammate do a Booyah Bomb cancel as soon as someone's like used the special. Like there is like a couple of frames where they are vulnerable, and like someone being like a brush user can just constantly spam shoot or keep spamming shoot, and until like it probably takes about I think 5 or 6 hits, and you can like eventually splat them before they use a Booyah Bomb, which is like it's kind of similar to like in the way the Splashdown was, but I think it's sort of meant to like be more protected against being splattered. Obviously being with the ink armor, it just makes it so overpowered. Like originally people were thinking it was overpowered because like, I can't die from this, and people were like, okay, it takes 5 full E-liter shots to kill it. Just yeah, I don't know. It's
just a friendly reminder. I'm sure a lot of people don't realize this, but you can actually reset the armor on a Booyah Bomb with regular armor.
I wasn't aware of that.
So if you manage to like get through that 500 damage or whatever it is that's required,
yep.
you have a teammate that has armor, they can reset it. And
Wait,
it's
so...
like
that is so evil.
And it's
so you're saying it was like it's back to 500. Wow. I thought it would be
Yeah.
I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, that's
no,
wow.
It's I think I've seen clips
I'm
of
sure
it.
that will be patched.
Yeah, you think.
But,
like in the ways like you couldn't get bubbles, like you couldn't kill bubbles with Bomb Rush, like in the ways of having.
I don't know.
It
Just doesn't feel right to me. Like in the sense of I think it's more the application. So the second you click your special, you're actually vulnerable. Like you have like this almost immunity. Obviously, you can shoot it down.
No, I've killed people as they've risen up before. It might have just been like ping issues, you know. But
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've been killed early on into using it several times. But
Really? Because I've actually
Yeah.
experienced the complete opposite, where like
lucky you.
no, I mean on the
yeah.
with the Booyah Bomb and on the receiving end of the Booyah Bomb,
Oh yes.
I just
yes.
unable to kill them. And
I think early on there's a little bit of vulnerability, but then perhaps once you're into it,
it's absolutely from memory. The armor activates by the time they've hit the peak rise.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it feels
true.
like.
Yeah. As soon as you get to that high point, that's when the armor kicks in essentially. And like I was saying, if you can use something like a brush and like get in there quick, you can cancel the Booyah Bomb, which for some is an incredible feeling because like originally when people were using, obviously it's like I can't kill you because you just got armor. But yeah, I think though that with every special there has to be a weakness, and I guess like that initial period when you do use the Booyah Bomb, that's the vulnerable period where you can splat them. So I mean, the Splashdown itself was the symbol of that. So
Well, personally, I would say that it's not that the Booyah Bomb needs a bigger weakness for the strength it has. I think that it has an equal amount of weakness for the strength it does have.
Yeah,
Because
correct. Yep.
it's not like sitting in there as an instant death. You know, if you can get out of that zone fast enough and you aren't sitting in it, like I think you have to be in the actual Booyah Bomb for like a good 2.5 seconds before you die.
Yeah.
It's great at like zone capping, sure, but I think
Exactly.
that's about the only mode where I think you can absolutely consider it a near vital pick and possibly overpowered. Because
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not. You know, I don't think the 500 armor really is that bad otherwise, because it's just not.
You know, it's just 5 fully charged shots.
Yeah,
B
but-
leader.
It's like you have. It's still though because of the charge
Yeah.
time. They need that amount of armor just to be able to get a Booyah Bomb out if they're being attacked.
And that's another thing too. When people use the Booyah Bomb, they're not going to be sitting there forever waiting for everyone else to Booyah for them. They're going to be doing Booyah themselves, and they're not going to be like taking forever to throw the Booyah Bomb. So it's going to be hard to do that, obviously, when people are just like rushing their Booyah Bombs. So
It's like, so obviously if someone Booyah Bombs in your range, you start shooting it, right? But most of the time there's like teammates around them, so like
yeah,
you just die to someone else.
exactly.
So stop everything I'm doing right now and start shooting this Booyah Bomb just to survive, but then there'll be a teammate that just shoots you anyway. Like, oh my god. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of it. I think it needs just a little bit of tweaking. It's alright in terms of what it does, it just needs something, and I'm sure they can work out what it needs. They're good at
Yeah.
the nerves.
I think maybe a potential fix it could do is maybe it has like, armor that you can break that's weak armor for a certain period, and then by the time it's like fully charged, it's invulnerable at that point or something. So that way they're guaranteed to throw out, but it's still killable. Something
That
like
sounds
that could
actually,
work.
yeah. I like that idea too. Actually, that probably makes a bit more sense instead of having, because like again, you have that invulnerable period, but like I don't know. Hess, what do you anything else to think about it? Not really.
I was just gonna say, like, a lot of people are saying it's quite good in zones, which I definitely agree with. But I do think it does have a couple of applicable uses in tower control as well. Like,
Correct,
I found it
yeah.
quite useful in tower with sort of just clearing out the area around the tower in particular, which can also stall enemy pushes, for example.
Yeah,
I
certainly,
found that
absolutely.
really useful. Yeah. And I guess too, if you're riding the tower, like if you've got like a sniper on a ledge nearby, like trying to snipe you off the tower, then you can kind of use it to pressure them as well a little bit.
Yeah.
So like, I think I've used it the most on the tower so far, partly because that's just the way the modes have been going when I've been playing. But I definitely think it's very viable in that mode as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I think zones and tower in particular would be the two modes that I think use it quite
Yeah, I
well.
mean, I can't really see it be used in Clan Blitz. Like, you probably, out of all the weapons you would use is probably the Tony Kenza roller with the bubbles, obviously. So,
Yeah.
I know
I can see like two potential ways that you can use a Booyah Bomb on clams, because if you can spot enemies passing clams, or you know where they're going to be, you can chuck a Booyah Bomb there and just deny the area.
Yeah,
it means
true.
that you have, if it'll bubble, like, you can consider other specials that would be able to like delay a push like that, but I don't think any of them could do it like a Booyah Bomb can. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you can
true.
obviously just throw out a choke point, because a lot of maps have that. If you think an ink blot, just a Booyah Bomb on the two pushes you can do there are going to be very hard to deal with.
same with
yeah.
Gobi Arena as well.
Yeah, very true.
Because there's only that one choke point where
Sure.
everyone's going to go. They're not going to go around, but
I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with chucking a Booyah Bomb right in front of the basket.
That's well, but
That does jump.
it depends on the throwing range. It'll obviously, I don't think it'll even stop jumping, but it won't even be able to stop long throws considering how much range they have.
Because speaking of long throws too, I don't think there's much effect when someone uses special power up and all that. I don't think there's any boost to any throwing speed or distance or even like booyah charge up. Like,
Yeah, what
I don't
does
think
what does special power up actually do?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
know
think it
that.
does
I know
anything.
that. I was going to actually bring it up earlier, but I couldn't find a position.
Yeah, I actually have no
It,
idea.
it decreases total charge time. So basically, it means that depending on the amount of special power you have, your charge will fill faster per booyah. So
Okay,
if you're
okay.
running about a main's worth, I personally found it probably does a good amount of halving the charge time.
Okay. Okay, well, that makes
It's a
sense.
fairly significant use. If you can slot in 3 subs or 1 main of special power on a booyah weapon, it'll do a lot. It'll make it so that you don't have to rely on your teammates to chuck bombs, and you are almost guaranteed to never die before you can chuck it out. Just
Yeah,
because
true.
it's so fast now.
Yeah, it's true. It's just another added element to the game we have to worry about now when we're going into solo queue or team games where teams might be using these new weapons, and especially the Booyah Bomb being one of those examples. Like when we VS scrimmed against an enemy's Anonymous the other day, and we used all Tony Ken's weapons, and we somehow managed to win on Port Mackerel zones. But that particular combo of like having a Booyah Bomb on small zone maps like Port Mackerel can work so well, and even to a degree it can sort of work on not Port Mackerel, Moray Towers. And having a good combination of having someone use the Booyah Bomb with maybe like a Bubbles combination could be pretty fatal if you think about it too. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally think that obviously I haven't been able to play any solo queue, and just in general I haven't been able to play much until recently, so I can't exactly speak of all the applications of a Booyah Bomb. But,
yeah, sure.
For zones maps in particular, I would say like just off the top of my head, I think a snapper would be an effective one. It's definitely going to be able to stabilize that zone.
Certainly.
And if you look at other maps, Gobi is definitely too big. And from memory, I think Skipper only allows you to destabilize the zone.
Correct. Yes, Skipper is an interesting one too with that particular Splat Zones layout as well, because like the zone itself runs up and down. I think that's the best way to say it. And
it's got a bit of a slope to it.
Yeah, and like I think what you need to do is take advantage of being the higher ground, because like I think when you have that higher ground, you have that advantage of having, I think it's called fallback, where your bullets maintain their damage when they fall down. Is that what it's called?
No, it's full of damage, and the way it works
full of damage. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's not that they maintain damage; it's that your bullets, after they've hit their maximum range, they will start falling off from that point. They will keep a bit of range while falling, but they will lose damage at that point as well.
Sure. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. So, like, positioning again with Skipper Pavilion is going to be crucial with Splat Zones. It's probably like in the middle. I call it the chaos zone, where anything can happen. And like, comparing it to, I think, to Salt Spray Rig from Splatoon 1. Like, if you guys remember that zone, that was pretty full on as well. So. Yeah, I've seen someone dub it as Salt Race Brig 2, and that's come back for some vengeance for Splatoon 2. So, yeah.
Well, it's the only map with the mirror, again.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
I mean, I think that's really the only similarity between Salt Spray and Skipper, though. Like, to me, it's a very different feel at the same time.
Yeah, true.
But yeah,
I don't know, because, like...
Yeah.
So, I remember in Splatoon 1 with Salt Spray, especially Salt Spray zones, there was always that, like, back part which, like, it wasn't the zone, but, like, it was really important to control. And I find in Splat Zones, it's almost that kind of same thing, except, like, the higher ground is, like, really important to just keep as, like, a way to, like, lock your enemies in.
I think the appropriate term for that would be the buffer turf. Because it's not like the map itself doesn't really have buffer turf around any other side of it realistically, other than the top. Because you can easily just kind of stop enemies from being able to drop down onto the zone from like the bottom area, but you can't easily stop them from the top. So
no, that's right. Because there's so many ways you can go as well. There's so many avenues that you can get to that zone. So. Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's entirely the case, because Skipper Pavilion basically funnels everyone into 2 points, because everyone the map always allows you to drop into the higher end of right out of spawn, and then you can always funnel into the bottom of the area where the zone would be. Those are basically your 2 attack options, unless you want to visit the shrine.
Yeah, true. But like, you're not going to be doing that in Splat Zones. Only Turf 4. Yeah, I've had this discussion with people about like, why did they have that big area for? In general, like, it's only a turf war area you consist of, but like, again, I was thinking that if you need turf points, then you can use that area to build up your special quickly.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, I think that'd be a great position for
Stingray.
Yeah, Stingray, especially on TC and zones. I'm not sure about Rainmaker. The thing is, it gets you a lot of good turf, but you're also incredibly vulnerable, because as easily as you can reach that area, the enemy can as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's good food for thought, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just on that too, that top area that you mentioned just then, I think even if it's like a last-ditch effort to stop like an enemy push in particular, like definitely that would be a good place to like quickly get your Stingray ready or whatever you're trying to stop a push with. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. No, that's fair. No, that's good to point out too.
Yeah, often when I look at that area, it's usually just ignored completely, and usually you've got like plenty of potential there to charge your special if you're kind of desperate.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I can really think of too, and like in the ways it probably adds a bit to the map design as well. Really, like it's got a nice aspect. Like if you see through those little glass walls, you see like the weapons sort of molded and rusted away. That's kind of aesthetically looking. It's sort of pleasing to see. Other than that, like overall, the map design is okay. I would probably question some of the layouts or not the layouts, the paths for tower control, and maybe I think the Rainmaker probably has to be there for the reason so there's no quick rushes and no quick wins.
I don't think the Rainmaker placement is bad, but they definitely need to adjust points. I don't think the map design has points have to be distributed better. It's just you get a free push to 40. It's easily that simple, and I don't think it should be that way. There should definitely be. They definitely need to make it so like the points don't scale as fast. Or maybe there is just some more obstructions that make it harder to make that push, because right now it's just a little too free.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, think about other maps that have 350s, right? You think of Moray instantly with the wall climb, and to a lesser extent, you've got like Wahoo World, because you can reach 50 just by taking the left path if you're lucky enough. But the thing about both of those areas is they're easy to defend. If you think about how easy it is to keep the wall defended on Moray, you just have to know that you just have to be there, and that's about it.
Exactly.
Likewise, for the most part with Wahoo, as long as you aren't just letting the enemy get away with it, you aren't gonna let them get a free 50. You can't really position yourself to guarantee that on Skipper unless you're like sitting right above the uninkable turf itself.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as you don't have like run speed's going to be crucial as well. Like to a degree, it sort of reminded me a little bit of Schellendorf, how like having that roof avenue, you do require the run speed to get a good push as well. But again, it all depends about how you defend and how you position yourself to stop like your free 50 push sort of thing. So yeah.
Obviously, I think in this case, it's the best defense is a good offense. Stop this would just be to control the mid in the first place. But
yeah, exactly.
I feel like you need to have a plan B and backup for defense in that kind of scenario, and I just don't feel this map has it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's hard to sort of like, to a degree, like all the other maps, each are individual, their own aspect, and like we've definitely got that with Skipper Pavilion in the ways how it's so unique, and like there's ways that you can take advantage of, but like I don't know, every map's like that, and to me it's one of the most questionable maps out there at the moment. But like I don't know, people will get used to it. People will find ways to take advantage.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at what people were saying about the BR day one. Nobody's saying that.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll take a bit of time for people. But I personally don't see any major issues with it. I just have my gripes on the Rainmaker, and that's about it. I think it's it's just another map in the game.
Yeah.
It's like
Palette.
I think you can complain about. Sorry. You can complain about the drop downs in Gobi, but I don't think it's like a major complaint. And likewise, I think that there's a lot of drop downs in Skipper, and I don't think it's going to become I don't think it's going to really become a huge complaint. People are just going to have to, if they haven't already, they're going to have to learn how to deal with drop downs.
Exactly. Pala, any thoughts that you want to add on to Skipper Pavilion?
Honestly, I haven't played it too much because, like, whenever a new map comes onto the rotation, I just don't want to touch it in ranked. It's like, I don't want to... I'm already struggling in solo with the regular maps I've been playing for about a year. The last thing I need is to throw another one. Although, one thing I've noticed is, like, a couple of times I've been, like, trying to do really sneaky, like, flanking stuff, and then I just fall. It's just like, oh, there's a gap there. And just drown.
It's another albacore, You've got pushes.
Yes, it is an albacore.
You're just gonna walk into the water at least a couple times, a couple dozen times.
I don't know how this game's just done. So
I was gonna say you saw me fall in the water about 5 times.
Are they trying to sell it as a new Wahoo? Not Wahoo. Is it the new Mahi Resort? Like.
I mean, obviously the missing thing is the rising sea levels, but other than that, it's
like they're trying to spread it across your maps though. Like you got Albacore and now this, so
yeah. I mean, it's to a degree, it's got the similar sort of feel. Maybe I don't know. Hess, what do you got? Any more thoughts to add on to Skipper Pavilion?
I mean, not really. I've really only played zones and tower control properly on this, as well as turf. Actually, it's funny because that area at the top they were mentioning again, I pretty much only see that get busy in turf.
Yes.
Like every time I go there in turf, there's at least like 2 or 3 people there. But then yeah, like I said, it gets ignored by every other mode just about. So
Well,
I don't know. That's really my only thought. Like I guess my overall observation.
Sorry for cutting that, but one thing to observe about Turf War is like if you're playing a Kensa Pro or a Kensa Dynamo, you can kind of just use that area to get free booyah bombs that you can immediately launch on the enemy base because there's clear sight lines to it. That's why you'll see a lot of busy activity on turf, just because you can just mess up the enemy base for relative ease.
Yeah, you get the doorstep of the enemy base too, if you think about it. Like, you're just one little step away and you're pretty much into their spawn if you're not careful. Yeah. Alright, so obviously there was some other things that came into the update. We've got a couple of new songs. We've got, obviously, the new weapons.
Oh yeah, the new songs.
You like the new songs?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm totally not like looping them over and over and over again when I walk to work.
Pala, are you totally looping them over while you're walking to work?
What was that?
Are you totally looping over them while you're walking to work?
Yeah, look, I don't have them on my iTunes yet, so I just like listen to them on the YouTube. They've got like a really cool like, I don't know, feel to them. Like the rest of them are really nice, but it feels like it reminds me a lot of the Splatoon 1 music with the I forget the band's name, the one that was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, Bev will probably be shouting podcast.
Splatoon 1 feels so long ago now. It's just like, well.
Oh, this isn't long, but yeah, this has got like this like really hip, cool kind of vibe to it, and yeah, I don't know. I reckon it's music I can get good ideas for like montages. I don't know. All these crazy like ideas.
Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about just quickly. But now I'm assuming all 3 of you are in your X ranks. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Barely.
Barely?
Yeah, barely. I haven't done my placements, but I only just got all X finally. That's partly because I don't do a huge amount of solo either. But
okay. I was gonna say, because with the new Kensa weapons now, do you think there'll be heaps of them being implied into the game now, or do you think it'll be still fairly balanced with like the old weapons?
Everyone's kind of throwing.
Go pallet.
Yeah.
Everyone's just kind of like, oh look, a new weapon, I'm gonna bring into solo. But then you get matched up with like 3 Lunas that can't do. And you're like, cool, I'm glad you're enjoying the new weapon and like wanting to try it out, but like team comp, please.
Yeah, rip points.
Well, like a few times I've been in like, at least I've noticed it in like the league as well. Like I'll just like have 0 booyah bombs on my team, and then like the opposing team has 3 of them, and it's just like, what am I supposed to do to this? Like, how do I do anything? I'm just hurled
what is life?
Balls of ink.
Yeah. Hess.
Yeah, I think there's always that initial hype when new weapons come out, and I've definitely been seeing a lot of the new Kensa weapons in solo. I mean, I think over time we'll probably see like gradually sort of calm down a bit, but I think we'll always see kind of that balance, I guess, between between the weapons, and amongst that there'll definitely be Kensa weapons still.
Exactly.
I think there are those probably a couple of Kensa weapons that'll be constantly used, like probably the Julies and the Pro in particular come to mind. I think they have their pretty good uses, but I think there'll still be those few that are considered meme weapons as well.
We'll touch on them later. I want to talk about them later, but just quickly, just sticking with you, would you prefer, like, if you're into a game of Clan Blitz solo queue, would you prefer like the Kensa Julies or the Kensa Roller? Or does it depend usually on the map and how you feel?
Well, personally, for me, Roller, because I'm more comfortable with like most of the other rollers too. So to me, that makes more sense. But I do think the Julies have a really good kit though, with the Baller in particular. If you can work with your team with using that, I think they both equally, because you can push with bubbles too with the Roller, and then you got the splat bombs too, which are always a pretty good sub to have.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I mean, even equally nearly for me, but like I am sort of getting into joys a little bit, so I definitely think joys as well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think it's good too because like it teaches people to practice different type of weapons, even though they are in the new brand and everyone wants to try new weapons. So it's probably not a bad thing either. And lastly, for you, Goizard, how have you been seeing in the X rank?
I mean, once again, I haven't really been able to play.
Oh, okay.
Personally, but I will just comment on them in general. I think we are going to see a lot of the Dynamo and the Pro in particular, just because the Booyah Bomb is going to prove to be a game changer in certain map mode combinations for certain. Like on Wulai zones, for instance, you can solo cap if you just throw a Booyah Bomb in between the two crates in the zone. And we're going to see those weapons a lot just because they're the only two with the Booyah Bomb right now. I think as the months go on, if more come out, it'll become less of an issue. And we'll probably see more diversity, but just for the time being, just because likewise with the Luna and the Machine, they are the only two that share the fizzy. You're gonna see them a lot just because of that. I feel. I mean, the weapons themselves are good, but just because the specials, I do think that the Booyah Bomb, if people want that in their team composition or they want to play the special, they have to play the weapons. So it's just gonna keep contributing to that.
I will say one thing, and I was playing ranked earlier today with the new Splattershot Pro, and it was Tower Control with Macomart and Can Triggerfish. Now, please use your Booyah Bomb wisely, as when you're using it on Tower Control, Can Triggerfish, you have... sometimes if you're on Tower and you panic your Booyah Bomb, please remember that the tower isn't under your feet by the time you get back down from your Booyah Bomb. So many times.
Discovered the new mechanic, or I shouldn't say new mechanics. I've discovered the brand new world of splashdowns, and the amount of times they get wedged underneath the tower, just like jump about 5 centimeters around.
Oh, I've been wedged under the tower already when trying to use the Booyah Bomb as well. That's a thing too.
Yeah, like just like slight edges, and you use your Booyah Bomb, and you get stuck. Like for example, the shipping crates in Walleye warehouse. If you use your Booyah Bomb right next to them, you won't go any higher than the crate because some reason there's a random space right there where you can't go over it because, I don't know, the laws and physics don't apply apparently.
Yeah, even the tiniest sort of space like that.
So use your Booyah Bomb responsibly on Tower Control, Can Triggerfish. I will say that after probably suiciding about 5 times in one match, so that was pretty bad. Yeah. All right, well, that just about wraps it up for this. I'm glad you guys were available to come talk on it because, like, I don't know much about weapons, and I'm glad that you guys could share a few things as well. So, yeah, thank you much, guys, for your time, and I really much appreciate you guys coming on.
No worries.
No worries.
I know I talk so much, but it's okay. You can...
I don't think I've...
I talked over people half.
Pal, did you even talk tonight? I mean, compared to the SpongeBob episodes with you.
What should I say? I like the slotting machine. I hate to play the other weapons.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's fun chucking soda bombs at people. I as much as you work, right?
What's your method of shaking the bombs?
Yeah, what is your method?
So I've been using the left stick, but to be honest, it scares me because I'm gonna break the stick. We'll figure it this way. Like, there's so many issues with the left stick on the Pro controllers already, and like I shake it left and right to like get the thing ready.
Yep.
And like sometimes my stick has locked in place.
Oh no.
I've heard if you shake both sticks, it does it really fast. But I'm +5 sensitivity, so like.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
My character's looking like 180 in the other direction. And then I also heard that like if you use the jumping key, like hold down the jump key, it actually shakes it really fast too. But correct. I'm just I'm very much a left stick.
No, here's my tip, Palette. It's obviously right stick if you're playing motions only affects horizontal. So, but right stick will also charge regardless. So if you just shake up and down with the right stick, it won't mess around with your camera or anything, and you will get a fast shake as well.
Alright, I'm gonna be honest here. I thought you just hold down the R button until it's done like the 3 levels, whatever. I didn't realize shaking it actually made it quicker.
Yeah, so that's one thing I didn't realize either. And then I watched my Japanese over, and every time she watches my stream, she's like, No, you must shake faster. Like, I don't know how to shake any faster. Do you want me to throw the controller out of the window? That will shake it pretty fast. Anyway.
I'd recommend that you don't try that, maybe.
Don't ruin your left stick.
Yeah, I enjoy the jumping method. It looks kind of cute. Like the animation, I really enjoy the animation too. So, yeah, that's my preferable method of shaking the fizzy bomb. All right, guys. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on, guys. I appreciate it. And thank you, guys, for listening at home or wherever you are, walking, driving. Wait, you shouldn't be listening while driving. That's bad. How dare you? No, listen.
Go down.
Thank you very much, guys, for listening. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll link everyone's Twitters in the description below. Please be sure to check them out. And thank you very much, guys, for listening. And goodbye for now.
Bye.
See ya.